Welcome once again to Gasavinap Enterprise. Again, I'm Siberius Gande, the founder of Gasavinap Enterprise, and we are into soap production. In part 1 of our video, we learn how to calculate the capacity of our soap molds in order to formulate a good soap recipe. So we're able to determine or to calculate our volume, the volume of our soap mold or the capacity of our soap mold. We're able to determine the quantity of oil or oils required. So today we'll go to step 3, and that is to learn how to determine the quantity of caustic soda needed for the soap production, and then how we can also superfat our soap. So step 3, how to determine the quantity of caustic soda needed for our soap production. So to determine the quantity of caustic soda needed, first of all, we have to know the quantity of oil that we need, the quantity of oil or oils if you are using more than one. Then secondly, we also have to know the saponification value of each oil. We have to know that as well. So to determine the quantity of lye or caustic soda needed for our production, we take the quantity of oil or each oil and multiply by its saponification value. So let's look at this table. I've just brought some few oils with their saponification values, but the saponification values are not fixed, and when you search online you may get some values that varies slightly from what we have here. And then the saponification values or the sap values it also varies depending on the kind of lye you are using. So here we'll be using this for caustic soda, but if you are using caustic potash, you have different values for that. So you search for the appropriate values for the type of caustic soda, the type of lye that you'll be using for your soap production. So we have here saponification value in natural fact is the amount of caustic soda required to saponify or to turn 1 gram of oil into soap. So the amount of lye, let me put it that way, but because we are using caustic soda, so here we can say caustic soda, but in general saponification value is the amount of lye required to saponify or to turn 1 gram of oil into soap. So if we take each oil, how much lye do you need to combine with that particular oil so that we can have our soap? So that is that too. When we take coconut oil is saponification value here is 0.178. As I said, you may get different values when you search online. Palm oil, but the difference is not much. Palm oil, the sap value is 0.148. PKO, that's a palm kernel oil, the sap value is 0.178. Then shea butter has a saponification value of 0.128. And beef tallow oil also has a saponification value of 0.142. So that is the saponification values for the oils that we have. And as I said earlier, to determine the quantity of lye required or caustic soda required, you multiply the quantity of oil by its saponification value. And then in part 1, that was the step 2, we're able to determine the quantity of oils that we'll be using for our production. So in part 1 of our video, the first video that we had, we came out with the quantities of oil required for our production. And palm oil, we had 1753.92. That was the quantity of oil that we found, and then that was then 40% of the total oil. PKO and 15.8, coconut oil 876.96, shea butter 438.48. So that was the quantity of oils required for our soap production. So to determine the quantity of lye, so as I said earlier, you multiply the quantity of oil. So when we take palm oil, quantity of oil at 1753.92 times the sub value of palm oil, which is 0.142. So when you multiply that, that will give us an amount of 249.1, and that is the caustic soda required. So we take palm kernel oil, the total volume of oil needed was 1515.8. Then you multiply by its value 0.178, and that will give us 2342 grams, and that is the caustic soda required. We come to coconut oil. Coconut oil gives us 876.96. So multiply by its sub value, which is also 0.178, then we'll be getting 156.1 grams. Then last, fixed shea butter. Shea butter it also gave us 438.48, and multiply by its sub value, which is 128. So 128 will give us 56.1. So you find a total quantity of lye or caustic soda that we need for our production, and that will give us 695.5 grams. Then we get to step 4. Step 4, how we can superfat our soap. And we said in the first video that superfat means extra oil that is needed in the soap to moisturize the skin. If the soap is not superfat, after bathing with it, you may find out that your body may be dried, or it can even cause some reaction in your body. It is to ensure that all the caustic soda or the lye that we are using for our production, they are all consumed by the oil. There will not be any leftover molecule of caustic soda that will disturb the skin. So in superfat, there are two ways. Actually, it meant the same, but there's some slight difference between superfat and light discount. So superfat is extra oil, adding extra oil to a soup. But in actual fact, we don't add extra oil. What we do is rather discount the lye, or we discount the caustic soda. So to discount the caustic soda, mostly we give a discount between 1 and 8%. 1 and 8%. Though some people, though you can go higher than 8%. So mostly it's even good to superfat between 1 and 5. So for this example, we'll be using a light discount of 5%. It's a light discount of 5%. So the light discount of 5%, what would be our value? So we have to reduce our caustic soda, which was 695.5. We'll reduce it by 5%. So we have two options to calculate that. Option 1, so the amount of caustic soda, which is 5%, will give us 5/100. So if you find 5% of 695.5 grams, so that will give us 5% multiplied by 695.5 grams, so that will give us 34.8 grams. So when we subtract the 34.8 from the caustic soda that we had, which was 695.5. So 695.5 minus 34.8, and that will give us 660.7 grams. That is option 1. So it means that our lye that we'll be using will now be 660.7 grams, but no more 695.5, because we are discounting the lye by 5%. Option 2 is you just subtract, so we subtract 5 from 100, so and that will give us 95. So option 2 will give us 95. So you have 95 over 100 multiplied by our lye, which is 695.5, and that will still also give us a figure, the same figure, 660.7 grams. So now we are now going to use 660.7 grams for our production, and that is how we can superfat our soup.